Are you looking for an aerial yoga class? One that will stretch and strengthen your whole body? Well, today's class is just for you. I have got a 20-minute aerial yoga class that is really meant to stretch from the head to the toe. We'll do a little bit of shoulder strengthening, a little bit of grip strengthening, but most of class is really designed to relax the body, to stretch, and just to give ourselves a little fun in the air. We'll be mostly standing, and we'll finish with a lovely star downward dog, or floating downward dog in our hammock. As you can see, the hammock is pretty low today. It's right above my knees. So go ahead, position your hammock at that height, roll out your mat. Let's get started. We'll start with our backpack on. That simply means to bring the hammock behind our back, in front of our shoulders, letting our fingertips dangle by our sides. My head is directly underneath the rigging point, and I'm just going to close my eyes. Notice how you're standing, how you're feeling today. Are we leaning over more to one side? Does it feel like we're actively arching our back or kind of dumping into our pelvis? Can we find a lovely tall position? Think about squeezing where your thigh and your glute connect, wrapping your oblique muscles, your side tummy muscles in towards the center of the body. Think about lifting up and out of your waist, opening up across the chest, lifting your ears a little bit higher. Take a big sip of air in, easy sigh out. Again, big inhale, big sigh out. Another big breath. Let it go. Seal the lips together, breathe through the nose. Eyes can stay closed, or you can flutter them open as you reach your hands overhead. Catch the hammock. Push it away like a great big T. Put a soft bend in your knees. Wrap the tummy muscles in. Big inhale. Easy twist to the right. Inhale, come back center. Big twist to the left. Inhale, come back center. Twist again at your own pace. Big, small, fast, slow. Notice if you can keep your hips, your knees still, and exclusively twist at the belly button, really wringing out the spine. Now pull yourself back to center, stand tall, hold onto the hammock, jump rope it overhead. If it gets caught in your ponytail, that happens to me. Slide your hands to about shoulder distance, bend your knees, and push your hands and chest forward. This is not about straight legs. I can straighten my legs, but I have bent my knees. I've pushed my fist forward, I've pushed my sitting bones back, and I'm wrapping the ribs in. Again, without moving my knees or hips. Big inhale, and a big sway over to the right. Inhale, pull yourself center. Big sway over to the left. Inhale, pull yourself center. Sway side to side at your own pace. Take it as big, small, fast, slow, as whatever feels good for you. As we finish off, evening ourselves out, hold once more center. Bend the knees a little deeper, soften the shoulders down the back, take a big inhale, straighten just your right leg. Lightly lean forward. Think about sticking your right butt cheek up to the sky, maybe even letting your sternum dip a little closer to the ground. Full big inhale, rebend both knees. Straighten the left leg, bend the right. Lightly lean forward, and then stick your left booty up to the sky. Big inhale, big breath out. Rebend both knees, pause, wrap the tummy muscles in, push the hands and chest further forward, full big breath. Exhale, stretch right. Inhale, center. Exhale, stretch left. Inhale, center. Forward fold, let your hands meet in the middle of the fabric. Drop your head down. Knees can be bent or straight now. You can be still, or maybe take a sway side to side. Maybe even rock your weight forward and back. Eventually find your center. Bend the knees, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Again, put your backpack on. Bring the hammock behind your back in front of your shoulders. Take your hands wide like a T and now take them together like a prayer. Reach your prayer over your head. We'll rise to our toes and wrap our hands around one more time. So I'm not just going to lift up and grab. I'm going to lift up, wrap, and grab. Set the heels down onto the floor and softly sink. Now, my low back is not leaning into the hammock. I am holding on with my hands. Our feet are there to give us as much or little support as we want, but start to push your hips right and left, right and left. Come back to center, pause. Stand tall, wiggle out the fingers if you need to, and then hold on tightly again, bend the knees. Now from here we're going to push our chest and hips forward, and then push our chest and hips back. Rock your weight forward, rock your weight back. Once or twice more forward and back at your own pace. And then find your center, stand tall. Again, if we need to shake out the fingers, if we need to wiggle anything, you can. We can repeat forward and back or side to side if that feels better in our body. Or we can put those things together with a lovely taffy pull. Bending my knees, pushing my hips over to the right, and then circling all the way around. Taking it as fast or slow as you want to. One more in this direction. And then stand tall. Wiggle out the fingers, relax. I know that's a lot of upper body strength. Pause when you're ready, bend the knees, and now this time, maybe push to the left and circle in the opposite direction. Know that you can always skip a few. You don't have to be completely even side to side. It's okay if we're getting a little fatigued already, but eventually, even yourself out, pull yourself upright. This time unravel the hands, wiggle them out. Once more, hold the hammock right at your shoulders, push it away like a T. No death grip, wiggle the fingers, bend the knees, and again, take a nice big sway side to side. Pause center. This time bend the knees and slide the hands overhead, returning to our L stretch. Knees can stay bent like we did before, or perhaps we're ready for more of a straight leg. Almost push the hands forward. Wrap the tummy in, wrap the ribs together, soften the shoulders down the back. Full big inhale. Exhale, sway to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, sway to the left. Inhale, center. Forward fold. Head is heavy. Relax the jaw. Bend the knees, roll yourself up. Keep holding onto your hammock, but take a step forward. Slide the hands open to about shoulder distance. Pull your inner thighs towards one another. Sit back in a little chair pose. Shoulders down the back, navel up and in. Almost pull the hammock out of the rigging point so we turn on our arms a little bit more. Notice if we're arching our back at all. No popping out that booty. Instead, pull the navel in and just sit deeper. Take a nice big breath. Big sigh out. Another big inhale, big sigh out. As you feel ready, take your left foot behind you and a nice big lunge. Bring your shoulders over your hips, lift your head a little higher. Think about squeezing your inner thighs towards one another and perhaps sinking down into your lunge. 3 times. Use your breath to dive forward and then pull yourself up. Exhale, dive forward, belly button to spine. Inhale, stretch your head back up to the sky. This time, dive forward and pause. Shoulders down the back, wrap the ribs in, perhaps bend your front knee a little deeper. Maybe our back heel reaches closer to the mat. 3 times, inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Last time, straighten the front leg, pause. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Shift your back heel closer to the ground. Take a full big inhale. Big breath out. Another big deep breath. Rebend your front knee, hop your feet together, stand tall. Sit back in your chair pose, navel to spine. Wrap the ribs in, relax the head, the chest, the face. As you feel ready, step your right foot or your opposite foot. If you do the wrong side than me, it's always okay. We'll always do both. Find your crescent lunge. Shoulders over hips, head nice and high. Big inhale. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, come right back up. Last time, dive forward, pause. Hold there. Adjust your lunge as you need to. What feels good for you? Where do you want to change something? What do you want to add? Great big inhale. Big breath out. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Last time, straighten, pause. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Push your hands forward. Push the heel back. Full big breath. Big sigh out. Rebend your front knee. Hop both feet together. Take your backpack behind you. Step so you're underneath your rigging point once more, and take a nice slow seat in our hammock. Now my feet are gently in front of the rigging point. My head and chest is mostly behind. Hands come behind the head. Drop the sitting bones down, lean back, look up to the sky. Just let the elbows poke nice and wide. Let yourself settle. Eyes can be closed or open. Look forward. Walk your feet gently further forward in front of you so your legs are long. Lift the hips and again lean back. Our lovely Tadasana pose. Wrap the tummy muscles in, pull the navel to spine, keep the elbows wide. Take a big full inhale and a big stretch over to the right. Inhale, come back center. Big stretch over to the left. Inhale, center, stretch to the right. Inhale, center, stretch to the left. Come back center, pause. Look up, grab the hammock, drop your sitting bones down to the ground. You might flex the feet, that might feel better. You could keep the toes pointed, but I'm just letting my hips be like a little weight for my spine. Great big inhale. Take a twist to the right. Swivel your toes, your knees, your hips over to the right. Come back to center. Same thing, other side. Big swivel and stretch. Come back to center. Again, right. Come back to center. Last time, left. Return center. Set both feet on the floor. Hands behind the head again, elbows wide. Start a cat and a cow here. Now this can be as big or shallow as you want it to be. Maybe it feels really good to focus exclusively on our pelvis, really lifting and lowering our hips. Maybe it feels better to focus on the upper body. Whatever makes you happy is perfectly fine with me. Eventually pause, looking forward. Now again, we're going to hold the hammock, and if you need to adjust where your silk is, sometimes it slides up a little high, always feel free. But holding on, lifting the hips, take a big inhale, cross your right leg over your left in a figure 4, and then sink the hips down. Take a swivel, take a little wiggle. Enjoy any movement that feels good to you. Unravel. Lift the hips up again, big inhale, exhale, cross the left over the right, drop down, and again, just enjoy that lovely big figure 4. It's one of my favorites. I could hang out here forever. No hurry, no rush. Set both feet on the floor. Take the hands behind the head again. Straighten the legs. Lean back into your lovely Tadasana pose. Squeeze the thud. Keep the elbows wide. We can be still. You can sway. Just listen to your body. Big, small, fast, slow, totally up to you. Eventually come back to center, look forward, grab the hammock. If you want to challenge yourself, see if you can pull yourself up without bending the knees. We'll stand right behind our hammock. Open it up so it's wider than your body. Touch it to your body and lightly wrap it around your hips. Take 2 steps forward. Bend your knees, stick your butt out behind you so we find our little hip shelf, and then drop the hands down to the ground. Find the beginning of your downward facing dog. You can stay exactly in place, or you can start to give your weight to the hammock and walk your toes back so you're underneath your rigging point, underneath your plumb line. Now I'm just going to hold here and to let my forehead fall to the ground. Take a great big inhale, big breath out, another big inhale, big breath out. And before we lift our feet, let's do a little twist. Take your left hand to your right thigh. You might crawl your right fingertips further away. Start to look underneath your right armpit. You can use your left hand to deepen the twist, to really look underneath. Full big inhale. Exhale, unravel. Bring your hand back down to the mat. And now this time, right hand to left thigh. Start to look underneath the body, using as much or as little strength in your right arm to take the twist deeper. Unravel, place both hands back on the mat. Fan the hands wide, push down into the ground. Start to open your legs wider than your mat, wider than your hips. Point the toes, squeeze your thigh butt connection point as you lift the feet away. Now I'm only lifting them ever so slightly higher than my hips. They're not trying to reach all the way up to the sky, but instead to stretch as far away from my hips as possible. I like to imagine someone is holding my ankles, pulling them away, while I am actively trying to crawl my fingertips further away. Great big inhale. Exhale, big sway to the right. Inhale, come back center. Big sway to the left. Go ahead and take that easy sway at your own pace. No hurry, no rush. Remembering that our star downward dog can be oh so sensational. A lot of us do carry a lot of tension through our hips, through our psoas and IT bands. This might be a little bit uncomfortable at first, and you can always come out of it as often as you need to. For me, the more I breathe deeply into it, the easier I find that lovely position. Now pause with your back long again. Maybe let your forehead again fall to the floor. Take a big inhale, big breath out. Slowly touch your toes down to the mat. If you want to, hang there again for a moment. Maybe you push the sternum closer to the mat if it feels nice. As you feel ready, look up to your hands. Walk your toes up to meet your hands. Find a forward fold. Roll yourself all the way up to a nice, tall, standing pose. Take a step back. Put your backpack on again. Simply stand tall and straight with the hammock behind us. Lift the head higher. Take another big inhale. Swim the hands high overhead. Push it out and away like that great big T we've already done today. Bend the knees and an easy twist right and left. Come back to your center. Stand tall, release the hammock. Close the eyes, take a big inhale, big breath out. And as always, my friends, give yourself a pat on the back. Thank yourself for doing something so good and just for you. I certainly hope you enjoyed our slow flow aerial yoga, and I cannot wait to see you again.